Hey, happy fall, y'all, and welcome to the Denver and Rio Grande Western Iron Horse Route.
Stick around for today's video, which is coming up next.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to have you here with me today. Today's video upload, we're going to get back on track, back to the track. See what happened in June? I put in a passing in a terminus. Before that, I had been doing tons of track work. So what I decided to do when we hit July is I started to work on some scenery. Over here, this was all still wood at the bottom. It was just bare table down there. So what we did, we decided to come in here and add South Boulder Creek to my Rattlesnake Gulch area. I actually ran South Boulder Creek all the way out through the north suburbs of Denver area. And when we completed that, very happy with it, almost complete with it. We got to a point where I had a bare area here. And so now on the D&RGW Iron Horse Route, we got a scratch build sawmill, watermill project going on over there, okay? And when we're scratch building watermills and sawmills, we're not running trains and we're not doing track work. Also, we decided, for the better of the D&RGW Iron Horse Route, we decided to go ahead and do some permanent work on this area here. See, this was initially made from popsicle sticks and skewers and foam board and all this stuff. And that was good and fine for a while. But as my trains are getting longer and longer and longer, they're starting to derail because of the wobbles and the twists and turns and it not being perfectly stable and stuff. So the decision was made, and a smart decision was made, to construct an open modular helix outside of the layout. All right, and I'm doing it way over here so I can really take my time on it. I'm using hardboard. I'm using the same size beams everywhere. I'm drilling holes. I'm laying things. I'm making sure it's straight. I'm making sure it's level. I'm making sure it's even. I'm making sure it's right. Okay, I got Pico Flex on order. What I got ordered in, I'm going to be able to get all the way to the 4th level. Now, we're going to get into expense on level 5 because we actually got 2 essential turnouts in level 5. And we actually have 2 additional turnouts that will also need to be added to level 5 when we come around the corner and adjust and put a new level in above this one so the grades aren't quite so steep coming down for those longer trains. Because as we do more and more track work, we're doing that so our trains can get a little bit longer. And as our trains get a little bit longer, our track work's got to be better. I don't know if I'll ever be bulletproof, but we're going to get it close. Because all this stuff's been going on, I hadn't been running trains, and I have found myself not very happy that I hadn't been running trains. And most importantly, I'm really unhappy that I haven't been shooting any videos of trains running either. So I've actually got some issues, one in here, one pretty bad one in here, a minor one in here. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be coming in here and we're going to be pulling up that old track and just doing some Band-Aid work, trying to get trains running. And that's what we're wanting to do for today's video. Hopefully stick around. You'll see them running before it's over. I'm not parking to pick up any freight today. Troubleshooting with the locomotives. Now, that's where the old track, this is all old track, but historically, regardless of the age of the track or whatever, I have an issue right here. We're going to derail right there, historically. And we're going to lose one right there, historically. Now what we have just experienced is an odd lap without a derailment with the A and B units hooked together. Again, historically, we're going to derail right here. Front right looks like it picks up and comes off. And train didn't derail again. I have to announce, for the second time, I have shot a video on repairing track work, or begun a video on doing track work to repair track issues due to derailments on my layout. As I prepare the video, put the locomotives on and begin filming, the locomotives stop derailing. This is the second time this has happened. If you do not believe me, please refer to Kato Bulletproof Solution. The Kato Bulletproof Derailment Solution. I'm going to put a card right here right now for that. I'm about to start adding cards. We'll see what happens. Now, what I'm going to do is try to use some of the cards that I'm more confident with first. More confident cards being the ones Dave BNSF sent me in scale, because I have messed with them almost none. We're constructing the open helix because even when the Katos are on as and running well and not derailing, and I just had the derailment. Okay, so we've got a problem right here. Now, what I'm going to do is stop. I'm going to pull that car back off, and I'm going to run them again, and we'll see. I'm going to try a different car maybe. All right, so what's been happening is exactly what I thought, and what has been happening. After 2 or 3 laps, I'm getting a derail right here, and that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do. I actually have some a negative soldered here, a ground, and so I'm thinking about starting right here. I had tried to do a solder there when this was down a long time ago, and I don't know if I did any damage to the rail. So right here would be a good place to go ahead and make my snips, and I'm going to go ahead and come around to right here where the track naturally joins already. And I have a connection here already, and so I'm just going to snip it there. What I'm going to do then is kind of pull out some of my old track and stuff and find some good pieces to fit in there to serve as a Band-Aid. What I got coming up next is I'm going to be wetting this area down and doing some snipping. These are not xenon rail nippers. I have had success with these, though. They're $6. I have had success with these in regard to cutting in scale track and not leaving burrs and spurs. It does make a flush cut. What happened with my first pair was the handle broke. So they are inferior to the xenon rail nippers, but the blade itself, it does a good job. So in a pinch, you can use these. I actually decided to go ahead and get them so I could do this project. When I use the flush cutter, I use the back flat side against the part that I'm going to keep, all right, that I'm going to attach to, all right, and I get a nice flush cut. Sometimes I will use a light file, but a lot of times I really am just going through to make sure there's nothing there, and it's been good. One of the things that I need to try to do is make sure that I'm parallel or horizontal. Parallel. Because the more parallel I am, the better I can get my, the better my connection's going to be down the road. The flatter it is. A lot of times if I do any filing, it's because it's not directly parallel, and that's my eyeball and not the cutter's. Hey, good morning and welcome back. Band-Aid is on. Glue is dry. Pins are about to come up. We're going to try to run some trains. Now, we do have to remember, this is a Band-Aid, all right? I used some old track, some old flex. I pieced it together to the best of my ability. The turn is a little narrow, and that's one of the problems. But I think I've got it good enough where it'll settle me and satisfy me to run 3, 4, 5 cars around the track while I'm working on the modular open helix, and that is the goal today. So we're going to remove the pins now, then I'm going to stop, I'm going to set the trains up, we're going to run the A and B units around, hopefully they go around flawlessly for a while, then I'll start adding cars, I'll flash in and out to you back and forth and let you know how it turns out. All right, this is real talk. First lap, first try, never tried it before. Video accuracy is important to me over here on the Denver and Rio Grande Western Iron Horse route. You are seeing the first attempt through the Band-Aid. We come under, back around, and down through the Rattlesnake Gulch area. We have a problem. I had a new support that got touched there. I don't think the Band-Aid was successful. I'll be honest. It looks like we got a problem right here. What we got going on now, basically all that happened was I added some new supports to the new track that I laid in. I already showed you. Added some new supports, made some adjustments. And what I've got now is I do have trains running. I have a train running, a locomotive running. What I have, though, running is the Bulletproof B unit, which basically means we have not proven that we've done a whole lot yet, because the Bulletproof B unit would almost run around this thing just as it was before. So I haven't really proven that we have improved anything tremendously yet. The A unit is a little more temperamental. It's a lot more temperamental, to be perfectly honest, and we're fixing to try to see what happens when we put that on there. That's going to be a better indicator as to where I might need to do some more work, if so. Now, one thing that will happen is, with me being DCC, I mean just DC, excuse me, when I add the other loco, the speed slows a little bit, and so the B is going to be going through this area for the first time at a different speed, at a lower speed. We're on 40%, but DC 40% with one loco is a little bit different. And I actually, looks like it might have came off there. It did. And so the A unit looks like the A unit might have been successful where the B unit wasn't. That's not usual. Now, obviously, the next step will be to, we just need to kind of make sure. It looks like B went through good that time. But what we need to do is make sure they're both going to run through, and then what we'll do is we're going to match them together and have them go around, which is even a little more difficult because I am DC. They're not speed matched, so I have to actually have less track imperfections because they're not speed matched. And so what we'll be doing is letting these guys run around for a little while. I'm going to stop the video and let them run for a little while. Then I'm going to cut back to you in about a half hour, maybe 20 minutes. And we're going to put them together and see how that works. y'all. Wasn't terribly exciting, but I learned a lot of good lessons. I reinforced the fact that I needed to redo the helix, and I'm doing that right now. Flex Track should be in Tuesday. Video coming out on that soon. Alright, also, another lesson I learned, or a thing I applied that I had learned, was not to jack up my locos trying to get them to run on bad track. I also learned that I still have an Atlas turnout issue that I have to address, because once the modular helix goes in, that's going to show us. I know that. And so that's coming up too. We'll be working on that as well. I'm hoping to have a guest video come in about Atlas turnouts and how I may correct that, and to determine if I'm going to need to remove it and put another one in or not. One more thing from you. If you haven't already, I need you to click right here, or click here, or here, or here, anywhere to stick around. Just stick around.